Morning Show with Anthony here on 92.9 and 96.9 EHM. Happy to have on the line with us. An absolute thrill to talk with him. Dave Mason is here. Dave, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you.
It's a pleasure chatting with you here. West Hampton Beach Performing Arts Center. Tickets are on sale now. WHBPAC.org. Friday, March 16th. I like that you're calling this tour the Best of Dave Mason tour. You've had like Traffic Jam and you've had all these little specific runs. Why did you choose to run the Best of Dave Mason right now?
Well, we added a new member, a female, Gretchen Rhodes, who's really good. So really, I'm kind of doing it's sort of a mixture of stuff. My solo stuff, there's some Traffic stuff in there. So I think when it's the best of at this point, it's probably going to be more towards I'm as good as I'm ever going to be at this point. So we've got a mixture of stuff in there,
Oh, that's awesome. I just saw Paul McCartney on his last run, and I'm curious to ask you about this because, you're one of these guys, Traffic, your solo work, all these great songs that you were a part of recording and performing after all these years. I'm sitting, Dave, at the last Paul McCartney show, and I'm noticing that the reaction to the older Beatles stuff was like through the roof, whereas the reaction now I kind of figured like here at EHM we like new stuff, so I'm on Paul's new record. I love it. We play it, I listen to it. I think it's great. I didn't expect that to get that big of a reaction, but even like his Wings stuff wasn't getting a huge reaction. It just seemed to be the classic 64, 66, 68 Beatles stuff. I'm wondering, when you're out there and you're performing, do you notice like, oh, okay, this like it's feeling all right, gets the big reaction, or it's all along the watch it? Like, do you notice the fan reaction when you're up there on the stage?
Yeah, I mean, they react to different stuff, different ways. For a lot of it, really, you're just up there. I mean, mostly recreating memories for people. It's not even the music. It's the memory of where they were, what they were doing, whatever was happening. And frankly, I mean, I futz around at home and I have new stuff. I have a new EP out there that I've done, but it's basically I'm not going to make it available anywhere other than at the shows or online. It's a waste of time. And the other reality is that there's no national format to expose new music anyway. And there hasn't been for a long time. So it's sort of an exercise in futility, unfortunately.
I know it's surprising to me. Like I go to a show like that, or, come to see a show like yours with all the songs that you guys have done. And I'm just surprised to see that people are like, they have a reaction to some more than others when, they're all fantastic. So I was just wondering if you ever noticed a lopsided reaction to one of because obviously you've had massive hits. I was wondering, like, do you notice like one hit over the other is like the one that everybody goes crazier for than some of your others?
They're receptive to everything. I mean, I do some excuse me, like a couple of Traffic things that I have in there. I mean, I'm not doing them the way they were done. I mean, I'll do Dear Mr. Fantasy, but I mean, chord wise, the structure of the song, I mean, I totally rewrote it. Low Spark of Ohio Boys. I mean, I have a blues version of it that I do that people, I didn't know how it would go, but people just love it. They're just like, well, man, that version is unbelievable. So it depends. I mean, Feeling All Right, We Just Disagree. Watchtower, which I'm always amazed how requested that particular thing gets over the years. I mean, that's sort of a staple. Only and I know. But I mean, actually, one of the things we're doing with so I'm featuring a couple of the people in the band at the moment. John Sambatero, my guitar player, who's recorded and played on a number of multi-platinum albums in his career, and Gretchen, who we've just put in the band. I mean, they're doing a version. They're doing "Can't Find My Way Home," and just last night they got a standing ovation for it.
Oh,
So
that sounds awesome.
It's the songs. It doesn't really matter particularly if they're mine or not. I think people respond to a great performance of a song, and then it's the song, and the songs have, and mostly they have memories attached to them. Is what really triggers most of the stuff.
Yeah, I like that you're performing reworkings of stuff. That's some of the items that's on Pink Lipstick, the album that you mentioned. That's available at DaveMasonMusic.com. Dave Mason is our guest. West Hampton Beach, Friday the 16th. You mentioned Watchtower. Now, I'm hoping you can clarify this because I heard two stories. I heard one story where you guys were in an apartment, you and Jimmy, when you first heard the song. And then I heard another version where you guys were in the studio when you first heard Dylan's Watchtower. Could you tell us which one is true?
We were visiting a friend of his in London one afternoon, and they had an advanced copy of John Wesley Harding. So we were wanted to hear the new Dylan album. And I guess something triggered something for Jimmy when with All Along the Watchtower. And then when we were, I can't remember exactly how long. I don't think it was maybe a few days later. We were in the studio laying down the track for his version.
The first time I heard it, I was with my friend Billy. Not as interesting as a story, isn't it? I love that you guys, though, took it in this whole different direction. From what I understand, though, it was a little bit of a stressful time being around Jimmy while you guys were working on Watchtower, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, it wasn't? I had heard that there was some, like, I don't know, there was like a thing in studio or something. That's not true.
No, it was just me and Jimmy and Mitch. Brian Jones was there, but Brian was out of his mind. He was I don't think he was incapable of even standing. So Brian wasn't part of it. But it was just me and Jimmy and Mitch. And it just took, I just took a while to work out some of the things that he wanted to do, especially the intro, which is a weird timing.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned Brian, the Stones, you're on Beggar's Banquet. I wonder, Dave, this is what I'm curious about, because you go through the list of songs that you've recorded on and the acts. I mean, just everybody. There's no reason to even name it. It's everybody, Do you ever forget, or do you ever hear a song and go, wait a second. I think I did this one. Does that ever happen to you?
Well, no. I mean, I kind of know which ones I've been on. Some of them have more outstanding parts than the others. I mean, I just played on Street Fighting Man, but that was mostly with just me and Brian and Charlie sitting around doing the drum parts, and then I played that weird horn on the end of that one, of Street Fighting Man.
It seems like for a while there, in the 60s and the 70s, like the world was much looser as far as collaborations go. Like I noticed, like with a lot of your collaborations, they're very like, oh, I was in the studio and so was down the hall. You don't really get that much anymore, though, do you, in the music industry today?
Well, the other part about it is that everybody's got their own little studio at home, and again, there were more recording studios back then because it was something that would work as a business model. Today, have a studio is ridiculous because again, it all ties into the fact there's with internet and stuff, there are just no record sales anymore.
Yeah.
So, and which translates not so much for people to perform, but for writers, the internet is just devastated people's income if they're writers. So, I mean, everybody's just stealing everything. So what are you going to do? You turn it into what, zeros and ones, and that's that.
I want to know for you, somebody asked me this question recently, and it's such a dumb question, but it kind of threw me for a loop, and I want to throw it your way because you've had such an interesting life and all that you get to do performing for all these people and everything else. What's a good day for Dave Mason?
What's a good day?
Yeah, like is it a good show? Is it at home with friends? Is it, in the studio working out something? Is it just, fiddling around with your guitar at home? I want to know what's a good day for Dave Mason?
Anything above ground is good. Frankly, at this point.
Oh, that's a great answer. I did not see that coming. All right, Dave Mason, awesome having you on, man. Looking forward to Friday, tomorrow night. And thank you for being on with us.
No, thank you. And look forward to being there.